Welcome, viewers, to a very special segment of Chit Chat right here on CC6. It's always a great opportunity to get to interview personalities, persons who've made their mark in the world, and I have a very distinguished gentleman with me today. We use the word hero so often for simple things in life, and I mean we have heroes of all different statures. But I can tell you this: today on the program, I have a true hero with me. I mean, he is such a hero. He has the medals to prove that he is a hero. I'm speaking about none other than our very own Gideon Beharry, our very own VC hero. And he's with me this morning to chat candidly about his experience growing up in Grenada, about other things that that has existed in his life. And I know a lot of you know of Johnson's story, and I'm so honored to have him here with me today to share that story up close and personal. Johnson, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome back home. Welcome to Chit Chat. And it's truly an honor to have you here with me today. So,
pleasure.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for saying yes, Johnson. I want to start off first off very early. I like to begin at the beginning without being repetitive. Tell me about Johnson growing up as a little boy in Digo Peace.
It's not much to tell.
Yeah. How come?
Because it's just a little boy growing up.
I know, right?
No, I came from a rough background. At a young age, dad would say he's an alcoholic, but he haven't admitted, so that's me making up my own words. Again, I couldn't deal with him. I couldn't deal with his drinking problem. Every weekend, he go out drinking, come home. We have to find somewhere to spend the weekend. And that's the life. There was nothing to look forward to.
Yep.
When I was about 4 years old, I started, spending time with Gran.
Right.
And that ended up growing, and I ended up actually living with her.
Yeah.
Because in she eyes, I couldn't do anything wrong. So it couldn't be any better.
Yeah. And I know you have a really special relationship with your Gran.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's a lady who really nurtured you and was there for you, like a lot of grandmothers that I know,
Well, she played a big part in my life.
Yeah.
I went in and out of her life quite a lot. But I keep going back. For some reason, I keep going back.
Because she spoiled you, didn't she? Yeah.
So I live with my gran, then I live with my aunt, then I came back home, then I live with my granduncle, then I went back home. I live with my aunt, well, 3 different aunties, different time.
Yep.
And then I live with my granduncle I was 8 years when he adopted me.
Right.
And I left when I was 15 because I wanted freedom.
Yeah.
So I went back to my gran.
So you went back to Gran.
And that's where it actually ended, actually.
Yeah.
So at 15, I went back to her. And I lived with her, started working, apprenticeship in mechanic, painting cars. That was too much for me because I was not eating properly. Then I went into building. Building was amazing because I was paid quite a lot of money. I was 17, 18, I was working for $125 a day. So that was a lot of money because I know people are working plantation working for $13 a day.
Right.
So me as a teenager working for that kind of money was good. I enjoy life, expensive trainers. That's all we want. And one day I just said to my gran, I'm going to England. And she said, you should go. And then she tell me a story of she brother that she sent to England, and she was working in plantation and sent money for him in England for him to survive.
Wow.
And the exchange rate is a huge
difference.
Yeah. And for she to be doing that, it must have meant a lot to her. And that's the story she told me. And she said, you could just go.
Yeah.
And it took me 1 year to actually save up my money to buy my ticket and go. But I didn't have all the money. I was missing $200. And I had to pick up the ticket 2 days before I traveled. And my other grandmother gave me the $200. It was she money she was saving up to build she little house, and she gave it to me. The only $200 she had, she gave it to me. I went to get a ticket, but no one knew I was going to England.
Right.
My two grandmother. No one else. I went to work the morning. I was painting a house in Egopis. I went to work, finished painting the house, and just jump on the bus.
And you just, yeah.
Get on the airport, jump on the plane. I said to my sister, Jamila, phone my aunt in England and tell her I'm coming to meet me at the airport. So I wasn't too sure if she was going to pick me up.
Right.
I get there and she was there to pick me up.
You were quite an independent individual from a very young age. And I mean, circumstances in life bring that side out to all of us. And I think that, wow. I think there are a lot of Johnson Beharrys out there,
There's loads.
I know there's a lot of Johnsons out there. What sort of relationship? You grew up in a big family. I mean, you just said that you've been back and forth between homes. But I know you have 5 brothers and 3 sisters.
Well, including me, it's 5 boys.
5 boys, correct.
Yeah.
4 brothers and 3 sisters. What was it like growing up with them? I obviously you weren't always in connection with them.
Didn't grow up all together because my big sister grew up with her grandparents. My big brother grew up with his grandparents, and then it was, Jill. Everyone knows Jill.
Jill, hi Jill.
My big sister, it was her and me, and Jill she liked to cry a lot, and she was bigger than me, and we used to get in trouble together, but I never get catch because she was the bigger one. And she would climb the tree, and I would be on the ground. And my dad would turn up. He would send us for water. We'll go and pick cherry. And I'll see him coming. I'll run to my gran.
She'll get caught.
Leave her on the tree.
Yeah.
So it's always both of us. But I had a feeling that my gran showed me more love than her. And some ways we started having this tension between us.
Yeah.
And ever since, quite small growing up, we start arguing. And we still do. For no reason.
Yeah.
And then, I end up living with my gran. So my younger brothers and sisters, I'd never live with them at home.
Right.
I visited them.
Right.
But I never had that relationship as brothers and sisters in the same house.
Close-knit, yeah.
But nothing changed. When I see them, I'm pretty happy. If I don't see them, I don't actually miss them. But when I see them, I'm extremely happy. Same with my mom and dad. If I see them, I'm happy.
Right.
If I don't miss them.
Yeah.
But I miss my gran.
Yeah.
A lot. I know I didn't spend much time with her.
Yeah.
I miss her a lot because she was the only person that actually showed me love.
Yeah.
She never hugged me, she never kissed me, and she never tell me she loved me. But she used to give me she bone.
You knew she loved you.
Yeah, because she used to give me she bone. She had no teeth.
Yeah.
And she used to peel the meat off the bone and give me the bone. So I knew she loved me. Because she never used to give the dog. She used to give it to me.
You. Oh, I like how you put that. She's passed away, right?
She passed away in 2003. I left in Grenada in 1999. And it was the first time I came back to Grenada for her funeral in 2003.
Right. So you jumped on that plane, you went to England. Did your aunt pick you up?
Yeah, my aunt picked me up.
She did.
And I didn't have nothing. I had a little carry-on. Yeah. Well, now I know it's a carry-on. I didn't know it was a carry-on then. Yeah. And in it I had 2 shorts and 2 T-shirts. And what I was wearing.
What kind of weather did you experience as soon as you got there?
I arrived on the 6th of August.
Okay, so you were safe.
7th of August. I left 6th of August. And the weather was okay, but I had no clothes. But I didn't know what England was like. Right. I didn't know, at 10 o'clock outside it's still bright. And I didn't know it gets so cold. Yeah. But most of all, I didn't know rainwater was cold.
There you go.
Because when I get wet, I came out of the plane and I get wet, and I said to my cousin, someone just wet me with ice water. He said to me, no, get used to it, it's rain. Well, I'm still trying to get used to it.
Yeah, I could imagine. I could imagine. What made you want to join the Army, Johnson?
The Army, I had no desire for the army.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of my friends, we used to work together, said to me, he's going to join the army, let's go. And I said, no way in history I would ever join the army. No matter what army it is, I would never join the army. But when my aunt encouraged me to stay in England, she sent me to college. I did maths and English. But I never liked school.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Why not?
It's boring.
You need excitement.
You know, I need excitement, and school is just boring for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped out of college because I
Mm-hmm.
was working. I had a part-time job. I used to do, I think it's 4 hours a week you're allowed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I was working for good money.
Hey.
And I knew if I worked from 9 to 9, I was going to get paid a lot. So I did work from 9 to 9. But it was pretty easy because all I was doing was painting.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have to do much. So I left college and I started working 9 to 9. I was working for £5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I was 19 years old.
Wow.
Life was amazing in England.
Yeah.
Amazing. I had 3 cars, no tax, no insurance, no license,
Mm-hmm.
partying every night, loads of girls,
Mm-hmm.
drinking, smoking. Then we start selling weed,
Mm-hmm.
and that lead on to bigger things and bigger things. And one day I said to myself, I just stopped
Yeah.
and I asked myself a question, why I'm doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And most of all, what my grand would think of me, knowing that I'm in a country where I could do something positive with my life, and this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I could not have come up with an answer, you know, to give her.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I had to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And there and then, I actually stopped smoking. I never smoke up to today. Never turn back.
Mm-hmm.
I still drink occasionally. But I like brandy, so I drink brandy. But I was still hanging around with my friends.
Yeah.
They were still doing the drugs,
Yeah.
still doing everything. And I knew it was only a matter of time for them to get catch.
Yeah.
And I go in prison for not doing anything. So I had to make a decision. And at the time, the only decision was to actually come back to Grenada. Because my family in England didn't want to know me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had nothing to give to them. They had to look after me. And I would say all families like that, you know, when you have nothing to give them, they don't want to know you. Because every time they see you, they know something you want.
Mm-hmm.
So the option was to come back to Grenada. But my aunt I was living with, she didn't know all this was happening. She knew me quite small growing up, and she knew me as this good boy. You know, I'm at home, I'm good. But as soon as I go out the door, it's different. And I decided, right, to continue working. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do to be away from my friends. And one day I saw the advert in the papers for the army.
Yeah.
Just said I said I'm going to join the army. Went in the recruiting office. But before that, I said to my aunt, get me the recruiting office contact, which was in the papers. I didn't even bother to read it. Because I start focusing, I'm going to join the army. Phone her up. She said, I know you want to operate heavy vehicles, but you don't need to go in the army to do it.
Right.
I said, no, I'm not going in the army. I just want to find out some information. She gave me the recruiting office detail. I called them up and made an appointment. But basically, they said to me, you don't need to make an appointment, just come in.
Right.
I get dressed, and I walked in. Big jeans, big t-shirt, big gold chain. Yeah, I had plaits, long plaits at the time. Marijuana leaf ring. And I walk in the recruiting office. And the attitude I had then time, you know, even if I was an actor, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, it came from the street, pretty rough.
Yeah.
And I asked for information to join the army.
Mm-hmm.
The recruiting officer just looked at me head to foot and said to me, do you smoke?
Yeah.
And I said yes, because 6 weeks ago I used to. He said to me, you can't join the army. But I remember my friends telling me, don't join the army is racist. They're born and grew up in England.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's their country.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a white man telling me as a black person I can't join the army. Forget I was involved in drugs.
Right.
You know, straight away he's racist. So I have a go at him. You know, I tell him exactly how I feel about him.
Mm-hmm.
And behind him there was an ex-officer. He said to me, you could join the army, but in 6 months' time.
Uh-huh.
But you need to train for 6 months.
Right.
Stop the drugs, get it out of your system,
Right.
train for 6 months and come back. I went away with the training program and I trained.
Yeah.
I used to run 28 miles a day.
Wow.
You know, I can't run like Irani.
Hey.
But I guarantee you I could go farther,
You
farther
can.
than him.
Oh, for a
but
longer
I can't
time.
do the short distance. I will die.
Right.
I will die.
Yeah.
And I trained and I went back in 6 weeks. And I was accepted. I went to selection. Selection was amazing because I did a 1.5 mile run in 7 minutes, 14 seconds.
Wow.
And that's quick.
Wow.
They used me to make part of the recruiting video for the British Army.
Wow, Johnson.
With my plats. And that was good encouragement for me to
Yeah.
keep, going, because there I am trying to join the army, and I'm part of the recruiting video to join
them.
the British
That's
Army.
incredible. Johnson, I wanted to take a quick break just for a few. Folks, I'm continuing to chat. We're going to continue to chat in a few minutes with our very own VC hero, Gideon Beharry. When we return, I'll find out some more from Johnson surrounding what happened in Iraq. We'll be right back.